Let's create a floor plan. Studio's Space Planning module gives you all the tools you need to draw accurate 1/4 inch scale layouts. We have named and saved the file to the client's folder. And now we will delete any tabs that we're not using to ensure that we're in the correct drawing scale. Right-click, remove page. The 1/4 inch scale, under the View tab, Edit Scale, you'll see is 1 inch equals 48 in world distance. If by accident you select the wrong drawing scale, you can click on the Edit Scale and change it to 48. There are 3 ways to draw a footprint. Use the walls from the toolbox, or use the drawing tools, which are under the Format or Home tab, or work with an imported blueprint using the drawing tools. We'll demonstrate all the options. Let's toggle on our graph paper, which we can do from the Quick Access toolbar or from the View tab, Workspace Options. We can change our dimensions from inches to feet. When we do that, we need to also change the graph paper properties, the grid spacing 1 horizontal and 1 vertical, so that each square represents a 1 foot square. When your design calls for angles, curves, a simple rectangle, or you want to trace a blueprint, the drawing tools allow you to create any shape and fill it with flooring material. We're going to draw a great room with a rectangular area and a turret. We'll use the solid color drawing tools from the drawing tools area so that we can fill them with flooring. We'll start out by drawing a rectangle, right-click, change dimensions, and we'll uncheck the Keep Aspect Ratio so that we can type in the length and width of the room. We have a circular turret, so we'll use the ellipse or circle drawing tool, and this has a 12-foot diameter. This time we leave the Keep Aspect Ratio box checked because it's a perfect circle. We'll make this transparent so that we can align this with the corner of the room. And let's also align this with our graph paper. I'm working with these edit points. Once we have that in place, we can use the Close Bezier tool to trace the footprint. This tool does take a little bit of practice. Remember to click twice for a straight line. Click, 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 out, in, out, back in, click, 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 and each click of your mouse creates an edit point. Back over here to the bottom left, our last click, which will be a double click, will complete the shape. We'll also make this transparent. Click on the edit points and reshape this, following our circle. And we can zoom in to make it a little more perfect. Once you're happy with this, you can then delete the rectangle and the ellipse. Go up to Image List, click on Rectangle, Delete, and Ellipse, Delete. And we're left with our shape. Let's change our line width to 8 pixels to represent the wall and change it to a charcoal color. We can then fill this, but let's bring it back up to full opacity by right-clicking, Properties, Fill. Under the Texture tab are the 5 different floor finishes for the space planning module. We'll select the wood, and we're ready to start adding our windows, door opening, and any other architectural elements, and then our furniture. We have a door opening on this side. Let's use the format tools, rotate right, to position this, and also a dimension line. We know that this is 2 feet from the wall. So we'll make a 2-foot dimension line, position it right here, and move this down to create the opening into the room. If there were a door here, you could add that at that time. We'll delete this, or you can leave it on depending on how many dimensions you want to provide. We can add a few windows. Again, we'll zoom in, rotate, and if you find that you're using these rotate tools more frequently, you can add them to your custom tab. Some of them are already here. Duplicate and position. We're going to have a sectional in this area. So from the furniture category, we'll select some pieces from the sofas. A center section, a left, and a right. Let's rotate this now, and we'll start positioning them. This one's going to be our corner piece, and we'll deal with that in a minute. I want to flip this to the left and flip this. Let's zoom in on the corner one. By sub-selecting this cushion, which means to click and click again so that just the cushion is now highlighted, we can duplicate it. We'll rotate that, position it, and sub-select the cushion again to resize that. Now we have our sectional in place. Anytime you customize the images and you'd like to save this piece, for example, let's zoom in on it again. Make sure that it's grouped. Go to your Custom tab, Templates. I've set up a space planning category. Right-click, copy, right-click, in the custom area, paste. And we'll call this corner sectional with cushion. And now it's saved. We can use it again and again. We've added all of our windows in the turret section, a few windows along the back wall, and some furniture, a TV cabinet, coffee table, some chairs, and so forth. If your space plan has interior walls, use the wall images located in the Architectural Elements category. They can be found at the bottom of the list. This is called the Neutral Palette. If you'd like to do a black and white drawing, under the Home tab, click on the down arrow, create a copy of the page. Select all of the images. You can do right-click, select all if you like, or use your lasso. Under Fill Color, select white. And now you have a black and white drawing. All of these images can be rotated other than 90 degrees by using this little handle. And of course the undo button if you make a mistake. It turns into a little circular arrow to indicate it's ready to rotate. If you'd like to show the client a different furniture arrangement, use your cursor to select the pieces that you want to move, and I'm drawing a box around the ones I want to use. I don't want to include these windows, however, so I'm sub-selecting those to deselect so that I have just the furniture. And I can use the flip horizontal if I like and create an entirely opposite floor plan. Next, we'll import the image of a first floor plan and work on the living room. With the Import Image button, which is in the Quick Access toolbar or in the Drawing Tools, click again in the workspace and locate your image. We're going to resize this to make it easier to trace by holding down the Shift key and using the corner edit point so we retain the original proportions. Let's zoom in on the living room, which is the area we're going to trace with the polygon tool. Select the tool. We're going to start in the top left corner. Click. Hold down the Shift key for a straight line. Click down. Click out for the bump out. Down. Back in. Straight down. Over. And double click to finish the shape. Again, we'll make this transparent so that we can see where to place the stairs, the fireplace, and the door openings. We'll rotate this and resize it. Fireplace, rotate. And for the door openings, we'll use a rectangle. You can duplicate them or just grab the rectangle tool. Rotate this one, and let's zoom in to make sure we're positioning these correctly. We have a couple of windows down here. And we'll need to resize those. Once we've added all of these elements, we can use our cursor to lasso the images by drawing a box around them. Right-click Group, and then we can move our original image out of the way. In order to make this the correct drawing scale, we're going to give ourselves some more room. So under the Raspberry icon page setup, we'll select the portrait orientation and turn our page this way. Click on Zoom to Fit Page to see the entire workspace. And again, holding down the Shift key and using that corner edit point, we'll drag this out. We want to make sure that we have the right scale. First, we'll change our line width and color. And we'll use a dimension tool to get our 23-foot width. Let's zoom in so that we can position this. You can see we need to make it a little bit wider. Hold down that Shift key again and stretch it out. That looks good, and we're ready to start adding our furniture, our doors, and windows. You can use the doors from the image library, or if you've created your own space planning images, you can keep them in the Custom tab. I have this door under Space Planning. I'm going to bring that in. We'll zoom in, and we need to make this a little bit wider. Let's ungroup all of the other images, click away, and make this 3 feet. And we're going to remove the outline, line width none. So we have our door here. And we can do the same for the doors here and here. Also add the windows in on the bump out, and down here we have them in place. We can make them a little bit narrower and make sure they're the right dimension. We're creating a custom sectional for this living room, and we've scanned a page in our vendor's catalog, used our drawing tools to trace the images that we want to put together for this sofa. Once it's done, we can copy and paste it into our rendering. And flip it. Position it in front of the fireplace. The dimension lines can also be customized. Let's zoom in on this. Right-click, Properties, Line, and choose the arrow type. You can also change the text and the text size or the font by going to the Home tab and choose any font that's on your computer. There are many different architectural fonts that you can choose from to download for free. I'm using Flux Architect here, and I'm also going to change the size to 20 to make it more legible. And here we have our new dimension in the Flux Architect font. Once the client has made fabric and accessory selections, we can turn our neutral palette rendering into a customized version using the fabrics, the carpet, and any other elements we've selected. The Fill Effects tab allows us to add the exact fabric to our sectional and our chairs, and we've also imported an image of the carpet they've chosen. Let's click on Import Image, click again in the workspace. Under Accessories, this is the carpet they've selected, and we'll import that and size it according to the correct dimensions, 6 by 9. And to further personalize this, we're going to add a dog bed and a little drawing of a dog. This Labrador was drawn in the elevation scale, so we're going to resize him to fit the space planning scale. Shrink him down, put him on his bed. We'll group him, and we can move him over next to the piano. And the client will be thrilled to see not only the fabrics and the carpet they've selected, but also one of their favorite family members in the rendering. Space plans to scale with the personalized touch from Studio. For an in-depth look at how to create an elevation rendering, design on a photo, create a space plan or a storyboard, please view the other segments in the tutorial.